You're 19 years old. You're sitting in a tiny, suffocating bedroom with a cheap laptop and terrible Wi-Fi. 10 years from now, your platform will quietly collect more personal data than companies built by Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk combined. And the scary part, most of your users will never realize they are the product. Because the biggest secret in the tech industry isn't code, it's data. And once you realize how valuable that data is, you stop building an app and you start climbing the levels. Right now, you're at level 1. Your app has 32 users, mostly your friends, but every click, every scroll, every late-night search is about to build something much bigger than a social media platform. You're about to build an information empire. Welcome to the masterclass. To trap 1 billion people, you can't use a cage, you have to use honey. You launch your app and you make the golden rule of Silicon Valley your religion. It has to be free. Why? Because if a user isn't paying for the product, they are the product. You build an infinite scroll. You hire neurologists to design a pull-to-refresh feature that mimics the exact dopamine hit of a Las Vegas slot machine. It works. 32 users becomes 32,000, then 1 million. At this level, you're just collecting the basics: name, email, age, and what photos they like. It seems harmless. They think you're just showing them funny videos. But behind the screen, your algorithm is building a psychological profile on every single person. You run secret A/B tests. You change the color of the like button to a slightly different shade of red. You realize that specific shade makes people stay on the app for 4.2 seconds longer, so you keep it. You aren't doing graphic design anymore. You're doing applied neuroscience. Your server costs are exploding. You need real money. You need to know more about your users than they know about themselves. Welcome to Level 2. You push an update, and in that update, you bury a new terms of service agreement. It's 84 pages long, written in dense legal jargon. Nobody reads it. Everyone clicks I agree. Congratulations, you just legally acquired the right to track their GPS location 24/7. You track how fast they drive. You track if they sleep at a different house on a Friday night. Then, you realize something strange. Users start noticing things. A guy will talk about buying a new camping tent in real life with his friend, and 10 minutes later, an ad for that exact tent appears on his phone. Users start panicking. They joke online, "Is my phone listening to me?" You never answer the question. You just issue a PR statement saying, "We value your privacy." But here is the terrifying truth. You don't need to listen to their microphone. Listening is too inefficient. You know he wants a tent because you know his GPS ping inside a sporting goods store for 20 minutes last week. You know his friend recently searched for hiking trails. You know their 2 phones were sitting in the same room for an hour. Your algorithm simply connected the dots. You aren't listening, you're predicting. And predictive modeling is so accurate, it feels like magic. It feels like a wiretap. But you don't stop there. Welcome to Level 3, the network. You realize you don't just need data on the people using your app, you need data on the people who refuse to download it. When a user clicks Sync Contacts to find their friends, you scrape their entire phone book, phone numbers, email addresses, home addresses. Suddenly, you have the data of a 60-year-old grandmother who has never even owned a smartphone. You create a ghost profile for her in your servers. You map out her entire family tree just based on who has her number saved. There is no escaping your ecosystem. Even if they delete the app, you still know exactly who they are. By Level 4, you realize you have a superpower. You don't just observe human behavior, you can change it. You run an experiment. For 1 week, you quietly tweak the algorithm for 500,000 users. You show them slightly more negative, depressing posts. By the end of the week, those users start posting sadder, more negative content themselves. Then you show another group highly enraging, controversial posts. You discover something incredibly lucrative. Happy people close the app and go outside. Angry people stay inside and argue in the comments. Anger generates engagement. Engagement generates ad revenue. So you rewrite the core algorithm, you prioritize outrage, you amplify division. You are no longer just a mirror reflecting society, you are a remote control for human emotion. Now the real money starts coming in, not from showing people ads for shoes, but from data buyers. Welcome to Level 5, the weapon. Data is not just about knowing what someone did yesterday, it's about predicting what they will do tomorrow. Health insurance companies come to you. They want behavior patterns. If your algorithm knows a user stops at a fast food drive-thru 4 nights a week at 2 a.m. and their pedometer shows they walk less than 1,000 steps a day, the insurance company buys that data to quietly raise their medical premiums. Retail companies want purchase predictions. They want to know when a teenager is pregnant before her own parents know. How? Because your algorithm noticed she stopped scrolling past videos of babies and started buying unscented lotion. You even know when a marriage is falling apart before the couple tells their lawyer. You track that they no longer tag each other in photos. You track that their phones sleep in different rooms at night. You sell that highly vulnerable targeting data to divorce lawyers and real estate agents. And then the politicians knock on your door. They don't want to sell products, they want to sell ideologies. They want psychological targeting. They don't just want to run a TV commercial, they want to warp reality. They ask your algorithm, find me 2 million voters who are highly susceptible to fear and paranoia, and show them this specific fake news article. You can take a married couple living in the exact same house and show the husband an ad about rising crime rates to make him terrified, while showing the wife an ad about defunding schools to make her angry. They're sitting on the same couch, but your app forces them to live in 2 completely different alternate realities. This is the exact same targeting that became infamous during the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Suddenly, your platform isn't just a social network anymore. It's an information weapon. You can swing elections. You can crash stock markets. You have the power of a god hidden behind a pastel-colored app icon. You reach Level 6, the untouchable emperor. You are now worth $50 billion, but you finally flew too close to the sun. A whistleblower leaks your internal documents. The public is outraged. They realize the depth of your manipulation. You were subpoenaed by Congress. You put on a nice tailored suit. You sit in a giant room in Washington, D.C. looking incredibly sorry. You practice your best apologetic face in the mirror. But as the politicians start asking you questions, you realize something hilarious. They have absolutely no idea how your technology works. They ask you how you make money if the app is free. They ask you if your app uses the Wi-Fi. They ask you questions so technically illiterate that you have to bite your tongue to keep from laughing on national television. It's a circus. It's theater for the public. The government slaps you with a historic, record-breaking $5 billion fine for violating privacy laws. The media goes wild. They call it a massive victory for the people. They say big tech has finally been tamed. But you go back to your penthouse, pour a glass of expensive whiskey and laugh, because you made $50 billion that year. A $5 billion fine isn't a punishment. It's just a 10% tax on your illegal activities. It's the cost of doing business. It's a parking ticket on a stolen Ferrari. And that's when the ultimate realization hits you. You step out onto your balcony. You look out over the glowing city skyline, millions of tiny lights, millions of people, and you look down at the glowing phone in your hand. You didn't build an app. You built something much bigger. A machine that watches, learns, predicts, and quietly dictates the behavior of billions of people. You own their secrets, you own their fears, you own their desires. Just like the platforms built by Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk, except this time, you're the one controlling it. So the next time you click I agree without reading, just remember who's sitting on the other side of that screen. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The algorithm demands it.